Hello and welcome back to the Global Gaming Network Power Rankings. Today we're talking about Valorant. The Valorant Champions Cup is around the corner in Paris, and we've got to rank our best teams. Who's got the best shot of winning the tournament? Joined with me today is Patrick Hollifield, our resident Valorant expert. How are we doing today, Pat?
I'm doing pretty good, Eli. Excited to be here. Unfortunately for the last time, so it's kind of bittersweet, but I'm excited for the Valorant Champs and the competition we got viewing for this year. I think it's going to be very good, very close race. I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
Okay, yeah, last one for 2025, but I think we'll have some more to talk about next year, hopefully.
For sure.
Unless something crazy happens. But with that understood, let's go ahead and get into the rankings. So at number 5 on the list, this one might surprise a couple people based on recent results, but it's going to be Team Heretics. So obviously this team is hot off of a EWC win, but they've had kind of a roller coaster of a season. They got top 12 at Masters Toronto, didn't even qualify for Masters Bangkok, and got top 6 in this most recent stage 2 in EMEA. I've been really impressed by Benji Fishy. Of course, this guy moved from Fortnite over to Valorant, probably the most successful to do so. But I'm curious, do you think that they're going to be able to ride this momentum and do quite well here at Champions?
This was a difficult one for Heretics because, and it's going to be a story that's probably going to be played out multiple times on this episode, of teams that at the beginning of the year just were really not cutting it. Like you said, at Bangkok, they don't even make it. They do a little bit better in there in stage 1 and get to qualify for Toronto, and then just get double bounced right off the rip. But then they take that little bit of a break and they come back in and they're able to claim the first ever Esports World Cup for Valorant, and a victory that was astonishing. But then they go back to EMEA and then they struggle again in the playoffs. So for me, Team Heretics, they are a very interesting team. I do love Benji Fishy in Fortnite. It's funny that these Fortnite pros are able to transition into many different games here, but he is a star on the team. But you also got the brothers and everybody else. The problem for me with Team Heretics is they never show that consistency. It seems like their strats are kind of always the same. They're not really innovating with the new metas. And as long as they can adjust to that, I think they can do fine. It's just they're kind of like this wild card of you never really know what you're going to get. But when they're playing at their top tier form, Benji Fishy and the crew can definitely put up a fight here at Champs. It's just they got a whole lot to deal with. And the group that they're in, it's going to be a little bit tough for them in this group. I mean, they're going up against T1, the winners of Bangkok, who have finally got back. And then you also have G2 in there as well. So this is like a tough group for them to get out of. But as long as they keep their head down, play their game, run the strats, I think they might be able to survive through this first round.
Yeah, so that's definitely one of the toughest pools in my opinion. I mean, getting through T1 and G2, that's quite a stretch. But we know this team has an extremely high ceiling, but also a low floor. So it's just about, are they going to show up with their ceiling on that day? But excellent analysis, Pat. Let's go ahead and get into number 4 on the list. And that is going to be Team Sentinels. This is one of the favorites from America, of course, such a historic team when it comes to Valorant in general. The current roster has been extremely consistent as well. They've gotten a lot of top 8s, top 6s at every international event. They haven't placed into the top 4 just yet, though, so they haven't quite broken through. Also, even domestically, they seem to struggle. They lost to NRG recently, but we still got a lot of faith in this team. Do we think that this is one that Sentinels can finally make a deep run?
I would like to believe so. The problem with Sentinels is they are very consistently at placing about 5th place.
Right.
But they have made it to every single international tournament this year, which is fantastic. And honestly, I like to put a lot of emphasis on the new members of the squad. Bang and Narrate. I said it on the last one, but these two have really brought in that additional firepower and strategy that Sentinels needs that's kept them consistent throughout this year. Now, if they want to do a little bit better, it's more about just John Cutie leading the team. And as I said in the previous one, Sentinels really is all about, unfortunately, just vibing. As you can tell, because Zelsis usually is their main one who's up in the air, he's celebrating everything, but you can tell whenever they're all quiet on the field, that's when they're getting that 5th place. And you can see it even with the NRG loss that they just had in the playoffs. They have to keep it together, but specifically Bang and Narrate have been incredible for this team. Bang is always his smokes. You know, he had to replace 10s playing this, and that's a big shoes to fill, and I think he's been able to do it fantastically. 100 Thieves really dropped the ball by letting him go over here, and it's helped Sentinels out tremendously. So I'd like to see them keep playing good. Zekin is another one to look out for. He's one of the top duelists in the game right now, so as long as he's on top of his game, I feel like there's nothing that can really stop them, only themselves.
Well said. Yeah, I'm rooting for them. I always want the Sentinels to do well. I've been watching them since the beginning of Valorant. Of course, Tins was one of the most exciting players to watch. So hopefully they can do it without him. They got a pretty tough pool. They got Paper Rex, Giant X, and XLG in their pool. Obviously, Paper Rex is one of those teams that's going to be very difficult for them to overcome, but I think I could see them getting second place in this pool. We'll have
It'll
to
definitely be tough, just like the last one. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. I think the whole tournament's going to be tough, but let's go ahead and get into number 3 on the list. And this is a team that has been impressing me time and time again, and that's going to be Team Fnatic. They come in with a score of 89 on our list. They've gotten second place at both Toronto and EWC, so back-to-back LAN Grand Finals. They did finish 5th in Stage 2 and 5th in Stage 1 as far as domestically, but at international events, they really do step up. This last playoff split, they had some kind of head-scratching losses to Giant X and BBL. Do you think that Fnatic has what it takes, and are they just going to show up on the international stage once again?
When it comes to Worlds, Fnatic is a strange one. It almost kind of falls into the realm of Heretics, where like Fnatic can really perform, and we've seen it, especially in the last Masters. I mean, they make it all the way to the finals. They take down G2 in a very close match. But this squad all relies honestly around Boaster and his calling. That's like the biggest format for them. But they always seem to struggle when it comes down to a lot of the moments when it counts. And for me, and I believe I said it on the last episode as well, is that they are a very methodical team. So they're constantly trying to make plays. Boaster's trying to outplay the team. They're trying to like fake A, then go back to B, fake B. No, we're going to go mid. If it's a 3-site one, they're going to go B. And they run the clock down, but a lot of times they're just in their own head and they run the clock down way too much. And unfortunately, a lot of times that comes back to bite them in the butt, because the more you sit there and study Fnatic, the more you realize what they're going to do. And they have to adjust for that going into Worlds, because in EMEA, as we saw in the playoffs here in Stage 2, is that a lot of these teams are adapting to how Fnatic plays. And if they're not able to pop off, then they're not going to get going. And so they just really need to sometimes kick it into a little bit higher gear. And I think they'll be perfectly fine, because they have the firepower here. That's not a problem. Alfier on that chamber is incredible. Crashes is an incredible player. Every single one on that team has the ability to do so. It's about them just being able to play a little quicker, play a little smarter, not get in their own heads. And I think they'll do perfectly fine.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe they just got to stick to the fundamentals. You know, keep it simple, stupid is something that I preach in a lot of different games, to be honest. But yeah, I see K-Jack as like this superstar upcoming. I mean, he's still very young, newest addition to this team. Him and Chronicle just slay out, man. So if they can get out of their own heads, I think we could see them make another Grand Finals appearance. But that's enough about Fnatic. We're going to go back to America and talk about one of our favorite teams. Of course, it's going to be G2 Esports. This team comes in with a score of 90. They have won everything in America. They are basically undefeatable in America. They fell to the lower bracket once, but they still won anyways in the last stage. They got second at Masters Bangkok, 4th in Toronto. And now that Leaf is back, of course, shout out to Baby Bay. He was able to like really keep this team in contention while Leaf was out. But now that Leaf is back, they look stronger and better than ever. Are they going to finally close out an international event this year?
Lord, I do hope so. I mean, the story for G2 this year has been, how close can we get to winning without actually winning? Because Bangkok, realistically, it should have been theirs. A couple misplays there cost them the round. They should have been able to win on that split. They were literally like one round away from claiming the trophy right then and there, but they just haven't been able to quite hit the mark. And then when we went into Toronto and then EWC, it's like they seemed like they were in a little bit of a slump. And then obviously Leaf had those problems. He had to step in, and Baby Bay, who was a fantastic sub for them, which I don't know if that leads credits to the Americas for being worse or Baby Bay just being that good, because even with the sub, they still ran Americas clean, no problem at all. So G2 definitely for me is the team to look out for at this champs. I mean, obviously we have Paper Rex, which we'll talk about them in a minute, but like these teams are the ones that like you can bet money on this and they'll probably be good, because G2 has a team of 5 superstars: Trent, Jajimo, Jonah P, Fallon, and now Leaf, all back together. I mean, every single one of them can do incredible feats. And Valen has done a pretty good job of leading this team, and I would love for them, non-biased as possible, to be able to win, just because their story from ascension into the league, into being champions, would be a beautiful run. They just need to be able to tighten up a couple of the screws, make sure they keep themselves together, and they definitely have what it takes to be able to come out on top here. And like we talked about, we mentioned their group earlier. They got T1 in there. It's a good time for them to be able to get their revenge against them. But you also have Heretics. So it'll be a tough one, but I see no problem with them being able to get out of this group.
Yeah, they got a tough group for sure, but I agree with you. I think they should be able to make it out. This team is incredible. Trent kind of answered our question. We asked a lot of questions like, will he be able to, continue being a force after the Tejo nerfs? And he's been just fine. Like that guy.
Oh yeah, just fine.
He's doing fine. So don't even worry about it. We should have never even asked the question. But it is time to reveal our number one team, and let's just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. It's going to be Paper Rex with a score of 92. Now, this team, obviously, they just won the Pacific Stage 2, and we got to acknowledge how difficult the Pacific region is. I mean, to win it is one of the most competitive in the world. Of course, they got first at Toronto. They did stumble a little bit at EWC with the fourth place finish, maybe lower than people would have expected, but as you've said before, maybe it wasn't quite the level of tournament as some of these other ones. But do you think that they have the ability to just go ahead and take down the biggest one this year?
Yeah, and I mean, I know I was just giving G2 a lot of credit for them to be able to win, but like on paper for Paper Rex, that this is definitely their tournament to lose. Everything's been working in their favor so far, and like I mentioned earlier with Heretics about the story is like Paper Rex at the start of this season also was going through a terrible spurt. They were not winning, they didn't qualify for much, and then now in the second half they've really picked it up, and they've shown that, and their players are just incredible. I mean, something is something else. All full pun intended. Like, this man is incredible. And that's just one of the four. Jing is also that Forsaken. They're all incredible players. And Patman coming into this roster has really stepped it forward. And for the EWC, for me, I mean, that was a single elimination tournament, so it's kind of a little different in the way that it works. So they did fall short. But this is definitely their tournament to lose, and as long as they just keep up the pace, like their style of Valorant is so different than everybody else, that's what works best for them. The problem going into this tournament is the map selection, because we haven't really been able to see much of them on Abyss or Corrode, and those two maps are now in the competitive pool. And if other teams see that they have a weakness on this map, that could probably be the only problem they have to look forward to going in here. And that's a very slight problem. You can ban out some of those. They just need to play their game, fast-paced style, and as long as something, Jing and Forsaken are popping off, I don't see Paper X being able to lose, except for to maybe G2.
Okay, so are you calling a Paper X G2 Grand Final?
I mean, if the brackets could align that way, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think that would be
if they make it past groups. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Right, of
here.
course.
Their group, they do have Sentinels and Giant X, who did an incredible run in the EMEA split too there in the playoffs.
Yeah, XLG's in that group too, and they've taken games off some tough teams as well, so it's possible. I see this team as extremely creative as well. Like, not only are they individually talented, but they're very creative in their play calls and their strategies. So I think, people worried about these maps, like they'll probably just got something up their sleeve they're not even showing yet. So
oh yeah.
I expect big things from this squad, and something maybe he lacks in his creativity for the gamer tag, but he's very creative in the game. So, but we got one more team we want to talk about. It's our honorable mention, and that is going to be Team Liquid. So this is kind of a head scratcher for me. I mean, this team has made it deep into the playoffs runs of multiple stages, but this time they ended up winning the whole thing. But internationally, they have been struggling. I mean, top 10, top 12 at a lot of these. But they're riding a good high right now after winning EMEA. Do you think that they can kind of keep this momentum up and have a good showing here at the international stage?
Yeah, I would like to believe so, because I think Team Liquid, while they were struggling and their international play hasn't been as good, I mean, the only thing that I need to say is they have Nats. Nats is an incredible IGL, maybe the best one in Valorant right now. And not only that, but we mentioned this a little bit in CS, is that IGLs don't necessarily frag, but Nats would be topping his team. So not only is he play calling, he is also a fantastic lurker, and he is the heart and soul of this team. And the last international tournament they were in, not the EWC, but Toronto, they had this couple visa issues with it. Nats had to arrive late, which caused some issues. And as long as they don't have anything to do with that, their team is all around fantastic. We saw that in the Stage 2 finals. finals because I feel like the EMEA right now, a lot of the teams seem to be struggling, which we talked about with Fnatic and Heretic. So this might be Liquid's time to come in and shine and be the top for EMEA and potentially get a good facing in here because, I mean, for EMEA, their group, I'm not hating on any of these other teams, but this is definitely a group that's easily they can make it out of here. You got NRG, which, you know, squeaked by in for Americas. EDG, the previous champions from last year, they've been kind of silent this whole season. I mean, they're definitely somebody to look out for, and DRX, who have fallen off a cliff. So this is definitely Team Liquid's moment to be able to make a deep run. And with Nats behind the helm, I think it is definitely possible.
Yeah, this is an interesting group for me because it's like two teams that are on the uptick. You got NRG and Liquid, who are like kind of punching up as far as their domestic competition. And then, like you said, EDG and DRX, who previous giants in the sport, but have had kind of a slow year. So it's going to be really interesting. I think this pool is going to get really mixy. Would like to see Liquid move on though, because they've been shining bright. But I think that's going to do it, Pat. This has been our Valorant power rankings. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. We do all kinds of different power rankings videos here on this channel for any game, any huge tournament that's coming up. We're going to try to cover it. If there's any specific game that you want us to cover, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Also hype the video. That's a new thing now, so you guys can hype it too. But stay tuned for more. We'll be back in the next episode.